Hi guys and welcome back. So today we're going to be making another magical crochet project. We're going to be working on this beautiful dragon which measures almost 32 inches from snout all the way until the tip of its tail. The project is so fun and very easy to do with a lot of repeat rows. It does take a little bit of time. It's not a quick project, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as I did. Before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. If you try out any of my patterns, do send me the pictures on either Instagram or by email. The links are in the description below. So let's get started. So here are all the supplies you're going to need to make this project. I'm going to be using this off-white color for the base, and for the wings and some of the other detailing I'm going to be using some variegated yarn. You can use absolutely any colors that you like, go crazy. Along with all of my yarn, since it's medium for worsted weight, I'm going to be using a F for a 3.75mm crochet hook. I also have a pair of safety eyes, a yarn needle, a stitch marker, a pair of scissors, some stuffing. You can use polyfill, fiberfill or stuffing from pillows. So now let's get started with our pattern. We're going to be starting with the head and the body of the dragon. So first we're going to be starting with a magic ring with our base color. So hold the yarn in 2 fingers to create an X at the back of your fingers. Insert your crochet hook into the top, pick up the bottom and twist, and then you're just going to pull up a loop. You have a magic ring ready. If you're not comfortable with the magic ring method, just chain 2 and start working into the second chain from the hook. Into this magic ring we're going to place 6 single crochets. Insert your crochet hook into the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now you're going to tug the tail end of the magic ring tightly to make sure that the hole in the middle is closed. And now for row number 2, into each one of the stitches from the previous row, we're going to place 2 single crochets or an increase. So into that first stitch we've placed 1 and 2. Into the one after that, 1, 2, into the one after that, 1 and 2, and this is called an increase stitch. So we're placing 2 single crochets into each stitch from the previous row to bring our stitch count total to 12 stitches. So you'll have to do this 6 times to bring your total to 12 stitches for this row. Now that we're done with our 12 stitches, I'm going to place my stitch marker onto that 12th stitch so we can keep track of our rows going forward. Now for the next row, we're going to place 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Into the one after that, we're going to do 1 and 2 or an increase. 1 into the next one, an increase, or 1 and 2 into the one after that. Again 1 followed by 1 and 2, 6 times all the way around. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2 until you have 18 stitches for this row. Now if you notice, I'm moving my stitch marker up with every row. For the next row, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 into the first stitch, 1 into the second stitch, into the third stitch an increase, or 1 and 2. Again 1, into the next one 1, into the following one 1 and 2. And you're going to do this 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. So just 1, 1, 1, 2. Now we're creating the snout. So for the next 3 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 24 stitches for each of the rows. So complete the next 3 rows and then meet me back here again. Now once you've done your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. Let's start with the next row. We're going to do 3 single crochets and into the 4th stitch an increase, We're going to do this 6 times all the way around. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 2 until we have 30 stitches for this row. Now for the next 4 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 30 stitches for each of the rows. So complete the next 4 rows and then meet me back here again. Now once you're done with your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. Now for the next row, we're going to start with 3 single crochets, 1 in the first stitch, 1 in the second stitch, 1 in the third stitch. Now we're going to work only into the front loop. So if you see each stitch has a V, pick up this stitch facing towards you, place 1 single crochet, into the next one, 1 single crochet, into the following one and increase. Again 1, 1 and then increase 1 and 2. We're going to go ahead and do this 6 times. So this is number 3. Now number 4. 1, 1, 1, 2. Number 5, 1, 1, 1 and 2. And number 6, 1, 1 and 1, 2. You should be left with 9 stitches now. We're going to go into the front and back and place 9 single crochets. And this should bring your stitch count total to 36 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to start with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase. We're doing front and back loops both. You don't have to split it up this time. 2 single crochets followed by an increase. We're going to do that 7 times. 2 single crochets followed by an increase, and at the end you should be left with 11 single crochets. We're gonna do 1 single crochet in each of those. So finish your 7 repeats of 2 single crochets and an increase. So now if you look, I've completed my 2 single crochets and increase 7 times. I have 11 stitches left. Just 1 single crochet into each of those 11 stitches, like this. Now for the next row, we're going to start with 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3, followed by an increase. Again 1, 2 and 3, followed by an increase. You're going to do this 6 times, 3 single crochets followed by an increase. Now you should be left with 15 stitches. Let's just do 1 single crochet into each of these 15 stitches. This should bring our stitch count total to 49 stitches for this row. Now before we proceed, let's add the safety eyes. You're going to go, if you remember, we did that row with just the front loop single crochets. You're going to go between those 2 rows. So just where the groove of the face is created, place the snout on your hand so you can see the center point, and you're going to just roughly place the eyes on either side to make sure that these are centered. Leave about 5 stitches in between them, and this is what it should look like. Now for the next 8 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 49 stitches for each of the rows. So complete the next 8 rows and then meet me back here again. Once you're done with your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to start with some decreases. For that you're going to start with 8 single crochets. And now you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3, followed by a decrease. To do a decrease, if you see each stitch has a V, we're splitting the first stitch, picking up the front loop, splitting the next stitch, picking up the front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Again 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, followed by a decrease. Once again 1, 2, 3, followed by a decrease. You're going to do this 6 times. Now you should be left with 11 stitches. We're going to just do 11 single crochets to wrap up this row. For the next row, we're going to start with 8 single crochets again. Next we're going to do a repeat of 2 single crochets followed by a decrease. We're going to do this 6 times. Now again you should have 11 stitches left. Just 1 single crochet into each of those to wrap up this row. For the next row, again 8 single crochets. And now we're going to do a repeat 6 times of 1 single crochet followed by a decrease 6 times. Again you should be left with 11 stitches, so just 1 single crochet into each of these. Now for the next row, again you're going to start with 8 single crochets. Follow this up with 6 decreases. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now you should be left with 11 stitches, 1 single crochet till the end, and this should bring your stitch count total to 25 stitches for this row. Now for the next 3 rows, we're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 25 stitches for each of the rows. Now once you're done with your repeat rows, you should have a head along with a neck that looks like this. Now we're going to start creating the body. So for this row, we're going to start with 7 single crochets. Now you're going to follow this repeat for the next 4 times. So you're going to do 2 single crochets, and into the third stitch we're going to do an increase, 1 and 2. So you're going to do that 4 times, 2 single crochets followed by an increase. Now you should be left with 6 stitches. We're going to place 1 single crochet into each of those to bring our stitch count total for this row to 29 stitches. Now for the next row, again start with 7 single crochets. Now you're going to do this repeat 4 times, 3 single crochets followed by an increase, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th stitch, 1 and 2. And now into the last 6 stitches, you're just going to place 1 single crochet into each. This should bring your stitch count total for this row to 33 stitches. Now for the next row, we're going to do 4 single crochets, 3 and 4, followed by an increase. Do this 6 times, and you should be left with 3 stitches at the end, just 1 single crochet into each of those to bring the stitch count total for this row to 39 stitches. Now for the next 5 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 39 stitches for each of the rows. So now once you're done, this is what it should look like. Now we're just gonna go ahead and add some stuffing to the head. So you're gonna have to push the stuffing all the way, starting from the snout to the rest of the head. You can use some pieces of scrap yarn as well. Now for the next row, you're going to start with 6 single crochets. And then you're going to do 5 single crochets followed by an increase, and you're going to repeat this 5 times. That's 3, 4 and 5, and into the 6th stitch and increase. Do this repeat 5 times. You should have 3 stitches left, just 1 single crochet in the last 3. Now for the next row, you're going to start with 5 single crochets. Now you're going to do this repeat 7 times. So 7 times you're going to do 4 single crochets, 3 and 4, followed by an increase. So do that 7 times. You should be left at the end with 4 more stitches, 1 single crochet in the last 4 stitches. Your stitch count total should be 51 stitches at the end of this row. Now for the next 10 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 51 stitches for each of the rows. Now once you're done with your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. For the next row, you're going to start with 15 single crochets, and then you're going to do a repeat of 4 single crochets followed by a decrease. So here are my 4 single crochets. Let's do a decrease together again. You're going to do this repeat 5 times, and then you're going to place 1 single crochet in the remaining stitches. This should bring your row stitch count total to 46 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to start with 15 single crochets again. Then you're going to do 3 single crochets followed by a decrease, and you're going to do this 5 times, and then place 1 single crochet in the remaining stitches. Now for the next row, we're going to start with 15 single crochets again. Now you're going to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease 5 times all the way around, and then with the stitches which are left, you're just going to place 1 single crochet until the end, and your stitch count total for this row should be 36 stitches. Now for the next row, you're going to do 4 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around to bring your stitch count total to 30 stitches for this row. Now for the next 12 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 30 stitches for each of the rows. Once you're done with your repeat rows, this is what it should look like. And now is a good time to go ahead and add some stuffing to the body. With every row that you do now, you're going to keep adding stuffing. And when you're adding the stuffing, make sure you're also shaping the body a little bit along with it. Now for the next row, you're going to do 3 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. And then you're going to follow that up with 3 rows of 1 single crochet all the way around for 24 stitches for each of the rows. Now for the next row, you're going to have to do 2 single crochets followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row, and then you're going to follow that up with 8 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 18 stitches for each of the rows. Make sure that you're continuously adding stuffing as you go on. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. Now for the next row, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until we have 12 stitches for this row, and then we're going to follow that up with 11 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 12 stitches for each of those rows. Make sure that you're adding your stuffing because we're reaching the end of the body. Now once you're done, this is what it should look like. Add your final bit of stuffing because we're going to close this up now. Now for the last row of the body, we're just going to do decreases all the way around 6 times, and then I'll show you how to fasten off. Now once you're done, just grab your scissors, snip your yarn off, pull it through. Now we're just going to close up this side, so you're going to go into the front and the back of each of the stitches around. And then just pull the back side close, and you can hide in your ends. Don't worry if this is a little untidy because we're anyway going to cover it up with some scales. So here's what it looks like right now. It doesn't look like much, a little bit like a snake or a lizard actually. But once you add the details, you'll see how different it looks. So now we're going to start working on the wings. I'm going to be using some variegated yarn for this. So we're going to start with a slip knot. Insert your crochet hook and tighten, and now chain 3. Into the second chain from the hook, we're going to place an increase, and into the last stitch we're going to do another increase to bring our stitch count total to 4 stitches for this row. Chain 1, turn, and this is the pattern we're going to keep following. Into the first stitch and increase, single crochet, into the last stitch once again and increase. Chain 1, turn, first stitch, increase, single crochet in all the others except for the last stitch, and last stitch, increase again. Let's do that again. Chain 1, turn, first stitch, increase, single crochet until the end, and now we're at that last stitch, increase. So keep a count of your stitches. You're going to keep doing this until you have 24 stitches. So now once you're done, this is what your piece should look like. Your last row should have about 24 stitches. Now we're going to create a line going up, and to do that we're just going to do slip stitches. So you're just going to yarn over, pull through like this, yarn over, pull through. Do this all the way until you reach that topmost point. Your work may curl, you can just pull it to make sure that it lies straight. Here, here, and right at the top. Now we're going to go to that topmost point again. Now we want to create a line coming down. Basically we want to create 4 sections into this wing, and we're going to do that using a method called surface crochet. To surface crochet, insert your crochet hook into the next hole. So let me show you that more clearly. I'm just going to go in here, pick up the yarn from the back side and pull it through. Let's do that again. Go into the front, pick up the yarn from the back side, pull it through. And I want the line to be going, you have to map out where you want the line to go. I want it to go this way, so pull through. This way, pull through. So the stitches that you pick, you'll have a little line that gets formed that takes you all the way till the bottom like this. So if you can see, we've created our first section. Now let's go across. So what we want to do is, we've created section number 1, we want a second section and then a third line, basically to create 4 segments. So now to create this line, we're going to go on surface crocheting across just so we reach the other side. So I've inserted my crochet hook into the next stitch. Now I'm horizontally surface crocheting like this. Let's do about 3 or 4 stitches. Doesn't have to be perfect. These are just lines that you're creating to segment out the wings. If you're a beginner and you find this a little hard to do, you can always skip this step. It's okay. It just gives our dragon wings this really lovely look. Okay, I'm back to surface crocheting segment number 2. So if you see, I have my crochet hook this way, picking up the yarn from the back and pulling it through into the next stitch I want, pull it through into the next one again, pull it through, and do that all the way until you reach the topmost point, which is right here. So we have section 1, we have section 2. Now we're going to create section 3. We're back at the top again, and we're going to continue surface crocheting down. So we have the line going this way this time. I hope this is visible to all of you the way we're doing this. We're pushing the crochet hook to the back, picking up the front, pushing it to the back, picking up the front. Simple. So 1 section, 2 sections, 3 sections, and we start surface crocheting across to reach the other corner, and then we're going to do that one last time. So let me just show you how to do that. Go a couple of more stitches. Now once we've reached this side, I'm just gonna remove my crochet hook, actually flip my yarn to the other side. This just makes it easier, and do normal slip stitches. We don't need to surface crochet because this is the corner. So we're just going to do normal slip stitches all the way until the top. So it looks like this. Now you can snip your yarn off and you can reattach it to the end, which is the corner right here. I'm just gonna grab my yarn, reattach it, chain 1 to attach it in place. Now we want to create a wing pattern around this. You can do any pattern you like. I just like to put in a single crochet, into the next one I'll do a double crochet, into the one after that I'll do a triple, the next one again let's do a triple. You can see how you want to place these stitches. Basically you want to do something a little bit in a descending order so that you have a scallop shape. So I've done 2 doubles in that stitch. I'm going to do a single into this one. So I have a first scallop, single into the next one, double, let's do another double, let's do a triple, followed by another triple, followed by a double. I have another scallop, end it with a single crochet. Into this next section, it's a smaller section, so let's do a small one. Let's do a single crochet, let's do a double crochet, another double into that same stitch, and into the next one let's do another single, into the last one let's do a single, let's do double, 2 doubles, 1, 2, Let's do a triple, another triple, followed by a double, and into that very last stitch let's do a single crochet. So you have a pretty scalloped pattern that forms around your wing. So just to show you, I've created a second wing almost identical to the first one. The colors are slightly different. It is variegated yarn, so it's going to be a little different, but this is what my wings look like. Now you can leave a long tail that we're going to use later to sew this on. So I'm going to leave a tail about that long, snip it off, into that last stitch, chain one, and just pull it through. You have both your wings ready. Now we're going to start working on the legs. So we're going to start with a magic ring, and into the magic ring we're going to go ahead and place 6 single crochets. Now for row 2 you're going to place an increase into each one of those stitches for 12 stitches for this row. Now for the next row you're going to place 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Now for the next 2 rows you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 18 stitches for each of these rows. Now for the next row you're going to place 1 single crochet followed by a decrease 6 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. Now for the next row again you're going to place 1 single crochet followed by a decrease 4 times all the way around until you have 8 stitches for this row. Now for the next 9 rows you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 8 stitches for each of these rows. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. Go ahead and make 3 more exactly like this. Once you're done with your leg, make sure that you add stuffing. We don't want to stuff this a lot, we just want to lightly stuff it, especially on the bottom. You can use the back of your crochet hook to push the stuffing inside like this. So now we can start working on the ears. To do the ears we're going to start with a magic ring, and into this magic ring you're going to place your 6 single crochets. For row 2 you're going to place an increase into each of the stitches to get your stitch count total to 12 stitches for this row. For the next row 1 single crochet followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Now for the next row we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 24 stitches for this row. Now you're going to slip stitch into that last stitch, snip your yarn off, and we're going to fold this when we sew this on to form our ear. Go ahead and make a second one exactly like this. Now let's work on the horns. I've started with a magic ring with 6 single crochets. Now I'm going to do 2 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for each of the rows. Now for the next row you're going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase 3 times all the way around until you have 9 stitches for this row. Now you're going to do 1 row of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 9 stitches. Now we're going to do 2 single crochets followed by an increase 3 times all the way around until we have 12 stitches for this row, and then follow that up with 3 rows of just 1 single crochet all the way around for 12 stitches for each of the rows. Once you're done, you should have a horn looking like this. We can add stuffing when we attach this. Place a slip stitch on the next stitch, snip your yarn off, and make a second one exactly like this. Now we're going to work on some spikes. I'll show you the base pattern and then we'll do a couple of variations. So we're going to start with a magic ring, and then into this magic ring you're going to place 6 single crochets. Now for the second row you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 6 stitches for the row. Now for the next row you're going to place 1 single crochet followed by an increase you're going to do this 3 times all the way around until you have 9 stitches for this row. Now for the next row, you're going to place 2 single crochets followed by an increase 3 times all the way around until you have 12 stitches for this row. Now we're going to follow this pattern for 4 spikes because we want them for our back spikes. For the next 3 rows, you're just going to place 1 single crochet all the way around for 12 stitches for each of the rows. That will complete your back spikes. For your tail spikes, you can start following this pattern. We're going to be making 3 tail spikes. So now I'm going to do 3 single crochets followed by an increase 3 times all the way around for 15 stitches. And then you're going to place 4 single crochets followed by an increase 6 times all the way around until you have 18 stitches for this row. Follow that up with just 1 row of 1 single crochet all the way around for 18 stitches, and that will finish your tail spikes. So make 3 tail spikes, 4 back spikes, and then I'll show you how to put everything together. So now we're going to start attaching the whole piece together, and we're going to start with the wings. So this is how we're going to attach the wings. We're going to take the longer sides and place them on both sides just a little above the neck. Let me attach one wing and show you how to do it. So I've threaded up my wing. I'm going to go onto the side of the body, just a couple of rows above the neck. You can pin this in place to see how you want it to look. Once you're happy with the placement, we're just going to do a simple stitch to sew the wing onto the body. Like this. So you're going to go across, stitch this side and then this side till here. Once you've attached the wings, this is what it should look like. Next, you can attach the spikes. So we're just going to take the spikes and place these on the back like this. So we have one here. We'll have a second one just behind it. You can do the colors as you want. 3 right here and 4 at the back. So you start from the back of the neck and go all the way until the tail. You can add a little bit of stuffing to each of the spikes before attaching it. Now once you've attached the spikes to the back, it's time to add the tail. So I've made 3 pieces. I'm going to attach these together like this. No stuffing for this one. And then just push it to the back of the tail and sew it in place right here. Like this. Once you've attached the tail, this is what it looks like with the spikes. Now let's go ahead and attach the horns. We're going to attach the ears and the horns at the same time. So let's start with one of the ears. Thread up your yarn. And now you're going to fold the ear in half. And you're just going to make a small tuck on the top of the ear. Just across 1 or 2 stitches to fold up the ear like this. Now the ear is going to come on the side of the head. So let's just go in line above the eyes to the side of the head to attach the ear in place. So we're going to place the ear here and then you're going to place the horn just above the ear and then do the other thing on the other side as well. Now once you're done, this is what it looks like. All you've got to do is attach the forelegs. We're going to do 2 on the sides like this and then 2 in front like that. Put these in place and I'll show you how the entire dragon looks once it's done. Now we're going to do some nostril detailing. So I'm just going to make a very quick magic ring. And into that magic ring, this time we're going to place only 4 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. tuck the tail end to close it up, and just pull your yarn through. You should have something that looks like this. We're gonna place these on either side of the face to create little nostrils, one on this side and one on that side. So here's my completed dragon, so cute and super cuddly. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I really hope you make this dragon too. If you like the video, please share it with all your friends and subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell icon to get notified every time I post a video. And until next time, bye bye.